Girls get so catty. I don't like a lot of people either. I don't mean to be sexist, but it's like, it just seems like there's an extra level of cattiness that is obvious amongst co-working females. Like, this people don't like that people, and that people doesn't like these people, and it's like, it's fucking tiring.
It's exhausting. That's why I just stopped talking to everybody.
That's why I kind of don't talk to anybody, because I feel like whatever I say will be held against me in a court of law.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's not
even
what
the
I
court of law
said.
that bothers you. It's the court of office opinion.
Yeah,
Who
like,
gives
You know
a
what I
shit
mean?
about it
The
anymore?
office politics, and I don't know. That was part of my whole thing of just not giving a fuck anymore. What did I send you the other day? That guy, man, should play that.
How do you get rid of some toxic people in your life?
You just have to.
Just have to.
You know, you're in shape, right? How the fuck do you get muscles? You go to the gym and you work. You fucking roll up on your dad, your mom, your sister, and say, fuck you, I'm out. Because you're fucking toxic, I'll see you in 6 years if you figure out why the fuck I left. And by the way, just so you know, I do not think that's easy.
No.
Unfortunately, it's the answer.
that guy's actually awesome. That's sound advice. Well, I got to read that book I got too, The Magical Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
I heard that.
Make sure you don't not give a fuck about reading that book.
I know. I got to do it.
Office politics are terrible, right?
It is. It's horrible, and I hate it. That's why I just try not to care, but I don't know. I care a lot sometimes. Not about what people think, but just having a good environment. I hate being in a horrible environment.
It's no fun. It takes everybody down. It just puts mold and slime on the walls, invisible mold and slime. There's an aura of toxicity abound, and it brings everybody down, and it only takes just one to piss in the well water.
Oh,
and
yeah.
now everyone's got the lemonade bitter beer face on.
Yeah.
You can overcome it. Last week, my peace story got bumped because Mama came up with a great one. So it got bumped to this week. And as it always does work out right, we're sitting here talking about office politics before we start. And this is what I found. A culture is strong when people work with each other, for each other. A culture is weak when people work against each other for themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we're talking about. That's funny. I didn't plan that.
Well, I just think, and that's kind of what we were talking about earlier too. It's like, why aren't people just nicer? Like, why aren't people just? This seems to be a running theme, but why are there so many assholes? You know, like everybody is just.
You can just be nice. You don't have to
It's
be
so much easier that way.
a mean person. Even if you suck as a human being, right? Just you suck. You tell yourself, I suck as a person. Fine, whatever. Be a nice person to other people. There are people out
Do
there.
unto others.
We're
is
not
the
always
golden
nice
rule.
to other people, though. So
Well,
we can't
that's
be too
human
hypocritical.
nature. Yeah.
I know I'm not always nice
I'm
to
not.
other people.
I'm
I
not
put
always.
P3 in full effect this weekend at work because I got a weird email from my boss, and I was pissed. I was like, why is this difficult? I've been working hard this year. Why are you giving me grief about this kind of thing? And I was ready to fire off emails, man. I was texting, got a guy, and I was like, this is bullshit. Blah, blah, blah.
You know what's one good thing about that? And before I forget it, I've learned, and I actually learned this from Hollywood, but it's like, type out that email, get it the fuck out, but don't hit send.
Make sure you don't hit send. You know what I
Don't
do
hit-
sometimes
well-
to be careful?
I do every time I delete the recipient.
Every time.
Every time. I take them out, even if it's a reply.
You only got to make that mistake one time.
Yeah, I take everybody out and fucking
It's
light
just
it
an
up.
empty draft.
And I'll
And
get
I
as
know
far
if
as
I
to
want to
putting them
send
back
it,
in.
Yeah, but I
then
want to.
I'm
I want to make sure it's not an accident. I want to be like consciously trying to send it.
Can
when
you
I put the
imagine
name
if
back.
you got like the first quarter of a rant? That would be like, that would just be all bad. Well, and that's why it's like, fuck email. Let's go talk to each other in person.
Yeah.
Perfect?
So you got some shit to say?
I didn't email it. I sent an email, but it wasn't the one that I had written up. It was
You got to
the revised
acknowledge
version,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I walked in his office today, and I was like, can we talk about this? And I sat down and I talked to him. And I know that wouldn't have happened like that with my old boss, partly because of his demeanor, partly because of my demeanor. But this guy, and he's new, so I've been trying to actually be respectful and to give him his chance. And so I went and I sat down, and that's not something I would have done before. So this stuff works.
Great job at work, babe. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, honey.
You know what's also awesome?
What's that?
Dolly Parton. She gave out her 100 millionth book the other day.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, right? to children. It's
How
amazing.
long has she been doing it?
22 years.
How many books a year is that, Duffman?
I'm not good at
You're the math guy. Do the
No,
math.
I am most certainly
that's a
not
lot.
the fucking math guy.
100 million?
Self-proclaimed.
She started in
calculator reliant, 100% and a half, not the math guy.
I play with numbers, but I'm not good at it either. Here's the, she started in 1996 and she did it for her dad.
Couldn't read or write. That's sad.
He was an illiterate.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, and
Well,
give
good
it
for her.
and giving them out to. I think it's for kids, right? It's
Yeah.
a
It
a
is.
kids benefit,
Yep.
just to promote reading, and that's something that Nikki's a reader, and I want Mac to be a reader, just so he's smarter than me. I feel like dumb sometimes. I was like, I'm not a reader. I'm a stupid person.
You're not stupid. You just don't like reading. And it's not for everyone. I wish I was
That's
more of a
because
reader.
it's boring.
You know what? It's not boring. I think you find the right book.
Yeah, no, that's what it is.
That's awesome.
Did we talk about this last week? Were we talking about reading last week?
We've been talking about reading a lot lately, but not this conversation, I don't think.
It's
No.
coming up more and more. I want to do it. I want to set a good example. I'd like to zone out and relax and just have no electricity and sniff the pieces of paper.
It's
and
almost meditation.
kind of. It's calming and relaxing, and then you can visualize just the same way you do in meditation. Visualize like the characters and the descriptors and the descriptors of the diagram. And
I love it. If
you
I'm
can see
reading
the fabric.
right, if you're reading a good book, you could just see it. You could picture it. So much better than a movie, honestly. Just when you're into it. I think that's why it's so important that why she did that for her kid, for those kids.
That's a lot of kids. That's a lot of books. That's really, really awesome. Those are the kind of stories that we love to hear.
Yep.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about love this week, Mama KGB?
Yes, actually, I'm super excited. Mr. Orange and I are going to the courthouse to get a marriage license. Super excited, and it's kind of not that it was never real, but it's more becoming real. Or
It's weird. I feel like we're on a. That's cool. The dog wanted to contribute.
She was so happy too.
yeah. I think it's just. I think it's coming together.
because I get torn between the does it really matter that we're going to get legally married, or does it not? You know what I mean? Because it doesn't change anything, but there's still something, right?
It does.
Yeah.
It makes it official. It's a big fat exclamation point on everything you did. You go through all this planning and all this hustle and bustle and all this work that you guys are doing, and it all comes to a head, and it's like gonna be a great day
It
that
is.
you'll remember for the rest of your life.
Also, it's gonna be amazing because I'm gonna become Mrs. Orange.
Mrs.
Everybody wants to be Mrs.
So
So does that mean you're gonna change your name?
yes, all 2 last names are going.
No, I mean like your
The best part
Mama
about this
KGB
whole thing-
nickname. Are you gonna be Mrs. Orange now, or is that just gonna be an alias? Another nickname, a nickname on nickname, like the Wu-Tang.
Sub, I got my girl over here, Mama KGB, aka Mrs. Orange, aka the broad that'll whoop your ass if you don't pay up.
Yep, something like that. I love it.
That's awesome.
Love
man.
it.
Well,
Yeah,
congratulations
that's
to
gonna
you
be-
guys.
Thank
man.
you.
It's been fun watching you guys stress out and freak out over the last couple of months. It's getting worse.
I wonder how bad it would be if I didn't have this outlet. Like, what would I be doing? Like,
Ooh.
just pounding my head against a wall somewhere?
Yeah.
I actually might be getting the backyard done faster because I'd be out there.
I remember towards the end of all the planning, I was fucking over it. It was the last thing I wanted to hear about. Like, that's all anybody ever talked to you about. It's like, okay, I'm cool. Like, it's going to be in a month or 2 now. We've done all the work. It's just like waiting now. And it's just like, nope. And then you start going to all the different events and stuff. And it's like, it was a grand day. It was a wonderful day. We had a wonderful wedding, but
Well, I'm looking forward to that part of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to the party. I'm looking forward to everybody
it's cool
being
when
here.
it's over, bro. And
Yeah.
then you can go back to just kind of starting to live or enjoying your life.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of how I feel with the house right now. It's
Oh,
like
I see what you're saying.
all this work to do. And she's like, just think about it. Next year, after like the grass is done and stuff, we'll have expanded our living space. We'll be able to just live in the house. Like, obviously, there's always things to be done around the house. But it's like we're always working on some kind of fucking project. It'll be nice when it's done and we can just kind of like Well,
Yep.
you guys know full well.
Oh, I think we hit on the head earlier. That's gonna be the next thing we're gonna do is the don't do shit in 2019 challenge.
Yeah, let's relax.
Exactly.
Hashtag relax
right?
on relax on
Yeah.
relax.
You guys
Seriously.
the farthest you guys need to travel this year is here to sit by the pool. We're just gonna have our own oasis back here, man. We'll have a towel boy. We'll make Tangelo wash towels.
I mean, maybe we'll go
Mandarin
to
will
San
clean the
Diego.
pool.
Oh, that'd be
For
cool. Have
girls.
fucking pool weekends. We can do wine and barbecue every
Oh
night.
my gosh, yes.
Well, not every night, but
Well,
like
no.
once a
We're
month or
sick of each
something. Well, no, we want. I definitely want to get that show going too, but we got to do that at my house too. Sometimes you got to come away and split
No,
the vibes.
you're right.
you know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So speaking of hypocrites, is that the word we're gonna use? I'm not sure.
a big pile of shit hit the news and the airwaves. This is a big piece of shit. I think the hypocrisy that is Asia Argento, and she's on the other side of a sexual harassment scandal when she's one of the main accusers of Harvey Weinstein and one of the leaders of this wonderful, quite frankly, feminist movement that was started. But it seems like, man, it's like, it's almost like Trump with the treason. It's like there's a lot of fucking wrong when you think like, who can we trust? We can't trust the president. We can't trust all the people accusing people of rape. Now, not all of them, of course. That's a major blow to that movement of positivity.
Yeah.
Major blow to that. That's
Doesn't stop it by any means.
Not at
but
all.
It's not a good look. It
that
doesn't.
sucks. How many other people are bullshitting for cash? The thing that sucked about this is fuck the guy that fucking tried to snitch on her too, though. Because from what I understand, there's a photo of them consensually in bed together. You're 17 and a half or whatever. They're trying to say you're a minor. You were acting as an adult
Yeah.
when you hit that old woman
Yeah.
in the pootie tank. He was 17 and a half. She was 37. But she bought the photo back from him and the copyrights to the photo of them in the bed for $380,000. But he's like a musician and an actor, and I guess he decided he needed some kind of notoriety or something. And if you already got the settled amount of money, you already blackmailed this woman into giving you money. Like, yes, she did a bad thing. Everybody does bad things.
When did she pay the money?
I don't know, I think this whole thing, I don't know exactly how old this is. I think it's all within like a year or so, though.
That's
a few months. I
crazy.
thought they said it was a few months after he was 17 or something. And it just stinks. The whole thing stinks.
No, not when it happened. When did she get paid? Like, did she pay him when, like, did all of this stuff hit the news and then she gets up there and she's like,
this, like, it was done. It was quiet. It was like handled.
Yeah.
It was like
Under
settled.
the table, man.
Like, yo, let me get this picture back. Let's part ways. Here's your grip.
Yeah.
We're going to move on. And then he's like, just kidding, New York Times. Guess what happened? One of the leaders of the Me Too movement fucked me. But it's like, it doesn't seem like a rape situation. It seemed mighty fucking consensual.
Yep.
I don't see why that's really a big fucking deal. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to snitch. But it just brings up a lot of, it's just more confusion for these confusing times. Who is honest anymore? Lie better, people. Everyone needs to be better liars. Even that fucking activists and so-called innocent rape victims need to be better fucking liars. Like, everybody just needs to start telling the fucking truth.
he called her a month after the Harvey Weinstein thing started and said, I want $3.5 million for this picture.
Oh, so he's like using it back. Like, yo, guess what?
Yeah, no, this
Oh, you
hush,
wanna talk
but
this shit?
That makes what she did even worse. Because I was thinking that she paid him 4 years ago, which is bad, but she paid him while she's standing in front of cameras.
Talking shit about
Yeah.
everybody for being an abuser, all the while being an abuser herself.
If she was. So that's the other question. Was she abusing him? But then if you open that can of fucking worms, how many girls walked into Harvey Weinstein's office? Maybe they didn't think that that's what they were going to do with their life, but they went in there willingly and they did what they had to do to get the job they wanted.
I think a lot of people, I'm not defending him, I'm not defending rape, I'm not defending molestation, but I think a lot of people at the time were in, and I thought this back in the beginning of this shit, I thought a lot more shit was seemingly consensual then before it came popular to say that it wasn't. You know what I mean? And now everybody's jumping on this bandwagon.
Yeah.
It like, oh, I got touched too. But like,
You
would like to be a fly on the wall in some of those situations. Like it's human nature to flirt with people.
Yeah.
It's human nature to be like horny. Sometimes it's human nature or hard for people to be loyal. You're on a set and you're making money or you're doing art and you're living free and you're out of the country. You're away from your family. You guys start doing blow and drinking expensive champagne and Louis Vuitton loafers. Some people are going to catch feelings and they're going to fuck. Like, I'm not saying that's right either, but it sounds like a lot of that shit. Yo, I'm rolling in so-and-so's limo and it's like, this is cool. She's like the baddest female director and like she keeps staring at me with those eyes and then offered me to do cocaine off her titties, and it was like, how could I pass this up? It was Blake Lively. Would you do cocaine off Blake Lively's titties? Thankfully, if I had that opportunity, Nikki would just take cell phone video. She'd be like, you get it, boy. When's my turn? Never done a drug in her life, but would snort a rail off Blake Lively's titties, guarantee. She's on the list. She's like, I'm not a lesbian, but I'd hit that.
Apparently you and Mrs. Duffman have the same choice in women.
Blake Lively?
Yes.
Goddess.
Hands
A goddess.
down.
Now, I'm not saying
So
it's
is Ryan
so
Reynolds,
easy
though,
to
so.
throw fucking.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I would probably do
I don't
a
wanna
rail
be
of
in the middle of
coke
that sandwich.
of off Deadpool's chest too. You know what I mean?
Off his
Just to
chest?
say I did it. You know?
Whatever he wants me to do. Okay, Mr. Reynolds.
You'll never believe this story. You'll never believe it.
This was consensual.
Good looking man. That's all I'm saying.
He
right?
gave me a signed Deadpool comic, smacked me on my ass on the way out, but then I sue him. Mr. Reynolds fucking touched my ass.
That's just bullshit.
It's like,
It
what?
sucks. That's the real. Like you said
What the
earlier,
fuck?
who can you trust? Right?
Can trust nobody.
Yep.
Can you imagine being in that
Harvey
position?
Weinstein deserves probably everything that he has come. Not probably. I don't know for certain. I wasn't in the fucking room.
A lot of people-
It seems like he deserves
A lot
all the
of
punishment.
they
he's
coming
got
out in throngs saying like this guy was like the worst. Maybe he gets a pass on this one. Maybe. Say those charges cancel each other out. His cancels hers out. Hers cancels his out. Those two can't talk about it anymore. But I guess there's still a line around the block for that motherfucker. So I'm not trying to defend him by any means. I'm just saying it's a fucking confusing out here, man. Lie better.
How old is Mrs. Duffman?
34.
34. So Asia Argento was 37, and he was Tangelo's age.
Ooh.
So
Man.
how would you feel if you found out the 37-year-old neighbor had seduced her son?
Well,
It's a tough call, right?
it is because he's fucking 17.
But the kids,
She was
fit.
working with
They're like
him.
right in they're all their hormones
I
are
know.
going,
It's
and
tough.
it's like
They're gonna
When I
do
was
it.
16, I would have wanted to step up to the plate.
right? Oh, bro, I hit that film director. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Like, why did you guys take a selfie? I guess in this world, stop taking fucking selfies.
Seriously.
If you don't want somebody to blackmail you for some shit, it's like you can't trust anybody. I'm afraid one day someone's gonna come on the door and it's like, hey man, you said something on that podcast that I'm taking out of context, and I'm gonna bring you to task for it. I'll be like, what episode was that? I don't listen to the shows. I'm like, well, I can't tell you, but I'm pretty sure you said some bad words. I was like, I say bad words in here. What are you fucking talking about? No, I don't know. You can't trust anybody. It's like you don't want anybody to. I'm careful about who I even fucking talk to anymore because I'm just afraid everything's gonna get spun out of fucking context and I'm gonna get fucking punished for something I didn't fucking intend to do.
Yeah.
Can't trust anybody. It sucks. I hate being a distrusting motherfucker. I want to go back to trusting everybody. Peace, love, and shit, man.
Yeah.
Far too much shit.
Well, that's what we're trying to work through.
Far too much shit.
Right. I found, or speaking of listening to podcasts, I heard one the other day for Duncan Trussell, and the guy he has on has this thing called Myco Meditations.
What is that?
Whom?
It is, Duncan Trussell is the name of the guy who has the podcast. It's the Duncan Trussell Family Hour. He is a stand-up comedian. He was I think he was the door guy at the Comedy Store when Joe Rogan and him became friends.
Okay.
And so he's like, they're really good friends and they have ridiculous conversations and podcasts. They're funny to listen to because they're two buddies having a good time.
Yeah.
I hope people like that kind of thing.
That's what a podcast should be, God damn it.
So anyways, this guy though that has the Myco Meditations takes you to Jamaica where psilocybin mushrooms are 100% legal.
Is that true?
Yes. And they administer you mushrooms over a few days with a few different, like they try to build you into it and they try to help you really get the spiritual experience out of it. And I've already looked up dates.
He has.
So
That's
maybe
something
this
that you
year not
might
going
not-
anywhere in 2019 will have
I'm
one
not
exception.
surprised.
You
I turn 40 next year, David. Maybe we should make it the year 2020 we don't do shit.
How about that?
It's 2020 vision.
I
We're
know,
going to
keep
see
pushing it
clearly
back,
and play
yeah.
Justin Timberlake. That's it. It's the 2020 experience. Special edition 2020 experience. You know they're going to do that shit. Mark my fucking words.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding. But, bro, that sounds like something, an excursion that you could possibly not come back from. Some people are either going to fully convert, lose themselves.
Oh, you mean in that way?
I'm like not going back. I'm not doing it. I'm not. Start making phone calls.
It'll be
Yeah, I'm getting rid of this phone. You're my last call.
The worst thing.
You know,
You'll be in Jamaica, man.
Is it the worst?
Oh no,
thing?
that's one of my fantasies. I've said it before. Sometimes I
Let's
want to
go buy
throw it
the
all
pizza
away.
place, man.
Go
Oh,
fucking sell puka shells.
Have
on
I
the
ever
beach.
told you about the pizza place?
No, you have not.
Oh my god.
On the
I have
beach?
No.
I have goosebumps.
I don't want to touch it.
Dude.
It's almost
like, ew.
Like handed me a hairy
There
dick
is a
just then. I was like,
pizza
get
place.
that dick out of here.
For sale in this island that we were looking at. We're like, wow, what if we managed to pull this off? They're selling the whole thing on this island. It is the #1 ranked pizza place or restaurant on the whole island.
What island is this?
Island of Bequia.
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 Bequia. I can't do it.
No?
Not until the kid's older.
It's Kismet. Ready?
I gotta be here. I want him to grow up in America. I mean, I'm sure he'd be fine. He's gonna make whatever life he wants, but it just seems like I can't go be a beach bum when I got a baby.
No. Yeah,
He'll grow up a
I get
beach bum too. Max Pizzeria. Oh my God! Right as I'm talking about, I can't do it because of the kid. Max Pizza. Fuck me. Max Pizzeria, Land and House, Belmont, Bequia. Belmont Bequia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Is that a band?
It's off of the
St. Vincent.
Caribbean island.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I love me the Caribbean, man. That trip to St. Lucia was amazeballs. Let's go to
We
Bequia.
don't even have to change the name.
Dude,
There's a house. Dude, this.
How much?
We're gonna
Oh.
get way off, and I'm gonna.
Oh, look at that.
But I would love to talk about this.
I would love to get
because-
a loan for that.
Oh shit.
Why do you think you could do this, Mr. Duffman? Well, because you see, the pizzeria in the foreign country has the same name as my son. It's Kismet.
Right?
I just need $900,000. Well, it's $865, sir. Well, you know, I just like to round up. I need some travel buddy. Dude, it looks fucking bomb.
That's the back patio, bro.
Can you imagine?
No, I've tried. That's why I'm bringing it up. We've tried and we've looked. We're like, is there any way to do this? Not without somebody else's money.
Yeah, I ain't got no money right now, but that's what it looks like in St. Lucia. That water, those green pitons.
Oh,
like-
I want to go there.
Well, it may not be mushroom meditations in Jamaica, but Sacramento had the Wide Open Walls Festival again this week, and they had it last year too. That was the first I've heard of it. I think it's been going around for a great many years, but I didn't think Sacramento was as involved in it as they were the last couple of years. But this is at 16th and L Street downtown, right above the Firestone Public House or whatever, this giant mural of Johnny Cash. And I encourage you all to like look up Wide Open Walls if you're into that kind of stuff, and look at all the murals that they did around Sac. Last year they did a giant Lady Gaga one right by Golden One. Have you seen any of these downtown?
No,
There's
I
this,
feel like I should.
There's this club called Holy Diver downtown, I guess, and they did these two crazy fucking skulls over the top of it this year. It looks sick.
So what are they?
It's a mural. It's a painting
It's
on the
actually
side of that
It's
building.
not one of those drop down like
No,
huge,
that like
gigantic-
they've been working on it all
So
weekend.
it's gonna stay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, there's tons of them down there, and they're from like the year
awesome.
before, and it's like there's hella buildings down there. There was this one
Who's
that's
paying for that? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know. I don't know where it comes from. This guy was like I think this guy was a world-renowned muralist or artist of something like that from like, I believe he's associated with the Obey. You know that Obey stamp, and it's like Andre the Giant's face or something on it or something like that. I think he's the guy that did this one. This thing is, I took this photo. It's super impressive.
It doesn't look real.
No, it doesn't.
What trips me out with art on such a large scale, like Wyland, the guy used to do it with all the whales and shit on the buildings and beach communities and stuff. How do they get it so accurate and so detailed on such a large scale when you're working?
Yeah.
You're 6 foot tall and you're like working on this like blop of an eye. Like it all has to be mapped out somewhere to
It's
some way
it's
to
a
where
lot
they're
of
like
math in that.
paint by numbers, right?
Basically. I mean, you know, I think they sketch it out. They know exactly what they want to do, and then they just break it up into quadrants or whatever, and they go, "This is what this one looks like."
It's crazy. It seemed like mine would be like every cube would be every
Yeah.
Picasso or something.
like a
Dude.
little bit different or trying to link in.
But
I guess.
how
But
beautiful is that? I
that
mean,
is
the
cool.
artwork on there is just.
they did this
That's
one.
pretty amazing.
It
It's
was like
amazing.
these raccoons, like are bandits, right? And they're like climbing up this rope, like on this building, and like one of them's like shining a flashlight at like a bird or something, and the other one's like climbing up, trying to get in this window. I want to point. I want to like map all of them out, and like. It'd be cool to go on a bike ride or something.
Well- Yeah.
and but bike ride's kind of dangerous. Maybe a walk or even a car, getting an
Sac
Uber.
brew bike.
Oh, the brew bike. And
I
say,
looked
hey,
it up the other day.
take us all around the murals
To do the wide open walls, private. You have to have. Oh, we could do that for my 40th. That would be fun.
That would be awesome.
I talked
yeah,
about
because they ain't
breweries,
going
but
anywhere.
that would be fun. We can
Yeah.
rent the whole bike.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be fun.
That would
Yeah.
be cool.
So
We'd probably be able to at least see a few of them. I know there's like they're all over town, so we probably wouldn't be able to go out of a certain range on that thing or whatever. But we'd be able to if we especially if we made it a point and said, "Hey, we want to see these things."
well, we'll hit all the ones we can on the bike, and then
Yeah.
we'll make a point to see the other ones.
Yeah.
Before or after.
yeah,
That'll be
That'd
part
be
of the
cool.
trip. Yeah,
Kind of
so we
fun.
see
map
them all.
them out.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll only get so many on the bike. That'd be a lot of fun. We will definitely put that on the docket. So we're not drinking tonight. We didn't really discuss this, but it's not happening. But we do discuss it at times, and we say sometimes we have a problem with stuff. And I was thinking about it. I was driving down the road the other day.
drunk.
No,
Thank God.
it's just stuff. When does something become a problem? It can't be like, how many drinks a night do you have? Well, okay, I have 2 to 3. Well, then you have a problem. Why? Why is that cut and dry amongst all human beings?
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
So what is your definition then? What do you think is when you? I mean, we talked about it. I know I carry around weight that's just beer weight,
Yeah,
and I know I should stop that, and I probably smoke too much, and I should probably stop that, but I don't.
I've been
So-
trying to cut back all of it as much as I can. Not as much as I can, but just because it's just too regular. It's like every day I'll smoke, but I haven't been doing that. So like last week, I had some at the show on Monday, and then I didn't have any again until Friday at the concert. So that was cool. There might have been a beer day in there, but I only had like 2. I think if you wake up hungover every morning, that's way too much, right? But who's to say some people's 4 beers is some people's 2 beers? Like some people's 1 beer is some people's 2 Jack and Cokes.
Yeah.
And then I've talked to older people, and like we've talked about this before, like me and my brother-in-law and stuff. And we're like, like I just don't want to drink this month, or I got to cut back the drinking. And I think maybe that's just because when we do, we go like hard at it. I don't know. But the older people would be like, you fucking kids are ridiculous. Like we have a cocktail every night, and they're like high functioning, well-to-do members of society. Like, what's the problem there? Like, I just think. Mama KGB and I were talking about this a little earlier too. It's like I kind of want to just stop for a while, reset that tolerance to where I feel like I could polish off a 6-pack way too easy.
Way too easy.
And way too quickly. I would love to be able to have 2 beers somewhere or 3 beers and then drive home totally chill after a few hours safely. I don't want to have to rely on Uber everywhere I go. Every event doesn't need to be an Uber.
Yeah.
Well, it's expensive, but it's like I feel ridiculous. Like, especially when I Uber somewhere by myself, which is like usually when I have to Uber because Nikki doesn't drink and she drives. But even still, like we went to that concert the other night and she's like, all right, well, you're going to have to sit in the back on the way home from the concert if I'm going to have to drive home. And without flinching, I was like, oh yeah, you're driving home. And she's like, okay, well, that's what I'm saying. You're going to have to sit in the back because the car seat's there and you won't be able to recline the passenger seat like you like to do. And I was like, I don't care. I'll sit in the back with the baby. It's all good. Like, I don't mind. Sit up front with little sister. That's totally fine. I never ridden back there, actually. I was like, it was amazing. And I was like, I mean, it wasn't amazing. It's just a car. But it was like, hey, this is cool. I don't mind sitting in the back with the tinted windows. And okay, Mr. Baseball insisted on buying me a beer for the tickets. So we bullshitted. I was telling you guys a story or whatever in front of that little concession stand. I had a full 24-ounce beer, and I was like drinking it, and I was like, I'm going to like slam this and then get out. And then I was like, I don't want to do that. So I kind of like held it non-discreetly. I was like, I'll just drink it through the parking lot. But if the venue sees that, no, you can't bring that out here.
Right.
So I got out with it easily enough. Happens all the time. But we're walking through the parking lot, and it's like, damn, our car's here already. I still have like 3/4 of this beer. I don't want to throw Mr. Baseball's beer on the ground. This shit was like, how many dollars? It was stupid. It was
That's
like
stupid. I didn't have it.
13. Oh, you weren't drinking that
I didn't
night.
drink
Good
that
for
night
you.
at all. Yeah.
And it was like $13 or something for this Lagunitas ale. And I was like, whatever. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here back with it and not tell anybody. And I put the beer in the cup holder in the back seat. I'm in the back with the baby in the tinted windows, and I was just like sipping on the beer. And I was just, my defense was just gonna be like, oh, I didn't realize I had that. I was drunk from the show and I wasn't driving and I didn't think. But technically, Nikki could have got a DUI for that.
That's crazy.
That's not chill.
Yeah,
Like for me, that's kind of like a problem for me. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm sick of like, because I have super fun when I drink, but for somebody that struggles with depression and anxiety anyway, to overindulge in something that's such a downer so frequently is not helping my fucking mood at all.
Yeah.
Just scientifically speaking. So it's like, I need to stop feeling like shit. I don't wake up hungover a lot, but there's some times where I wake up kind of like fucking wrecked. And the frequency in which I'm drinking and overindulging in the alcohol to me seems like a problem.
Well, I don't think you enjoy it anymore. I think it's just like, ooh, it's so good. Let me just down it. You don't actually enjoy drinking it or having
that's
a
100%
sip.
true. That's why you always drink the good bottles of wine first.
Yeah.
Because by the time you get to the third, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
So
You're
why are
just
you drinking the shit when you can remember what it tastes like when you should be drinking? I do that with
Enjoy
beer
the
sometimes
quality
too.
one. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I'll do. Another thing is like, I guess it's smart to know the alcohol content, especially if you're into like a triple IPA or a double IPA type of person, or even IPAs. But like, I'll have like a strong one first, or like it's like, I gotta go soon or whatever. It's like, I gotta have one more beer. Just let me have like a Bud Light, and then like you don't even count it as beer.
Yeah, which is dangerous.
Which can be dangerous, which can also be a slippery slope and part of the problem. And I think that's just another, I guess, being totally
I
honest.
don't ever do that.
I'm not saying I'm checking into AA right now and I need to be like, I'm an alcoholic and this is a problem. So this is
Well, that's my point. What is that? When is it a problem? When do you have to say, okay, I need to correct? And I think when I sent you guys the message, I included lots of other things. We're just talking about drinking right now, but porn came straight to mind for a lot of people, video games for a lot of other people, eating for a lot of people. When does
Fast
something, fast
Tacos.
food. Yeah, what's this?
I saw this guy on the internet the other day. Hashtag taco challenge. He was going to eat a taco a day for the whole month of August. I thought, this guy's an idiot. But he starts tweeting about it and all these delicious tacos. They look like really good and stuff. I was like, this guy's quite a photographer. And all the cool taco joints be hitting him back on the tweet box and whatnot. And I'm like, what? This guy's going to be somebody. Maybe he's onto something. So I joined up. I signed up. And every day this month, I've been eating a taco a day, unbeknownst to you shitheads. Just kidding. But anyway, fuck that. No, like, too much of a good thing is bad. Whatever you consider a good thing to be. I don't know.
I wonder, like, at the detriment to your health, we know that so many things are bad for us, but we do it anyways.
Because that's
a double
living.
McCheesy or whatever you call it.
A meaty cheesy?
Meaty cheesy.
Fuck me in the face with the meaty cheesy.
That's what I'm saying. So
And then
where's that
crispy,
limit?
salty, sodium-filled fucking fries. Don't do it every day.
That's not good.
Don't even do it every week. This one lady's like, pizza night. Every Friday we have pizza. This was back in the day. I was like, no wonder you're fat. She said, pardon me? I said, excuse me? She said, what? I said, huh?
Oh my god.
I couldn't believe I said it out loud.
I don't know. For me, I think I realized I needed to stop drinking is when we came home from Hawaii and I hurt my body, my kidneys, my everything was just hating on me. And I just...
But did you have a problem or did you have a good time? That's two different things.
Well,
I'm saying, when is something a problem?
Well, I wanted it. Like, I wanted it. I just needed it. Like, I wanted it in my hand. I could not be with it. It almost like I needed it right now. I had to go get it. Doesn't
have to
matter.
have it.
If
Like,
I
had
came
to have it.
home every night and did nothing but one beer, that's it. I did nothing else. No cigarettes, no marijuana, no cocaine, no nothing.
It's worthless.
Those are the things I do every night now, obviously. But, yeah, and I just had one beer. How many people would classify that as me having a problem? A lot.
A lot would. That you had to have that. Well, I just have my one.
beer.
And
That's it. That's
why
it.
do
That's
you
my
need
only
it?
vice, you know.
Well, that's kind of what I feel like.
But why is it a problem? Why does it bother people to think that
It
guy
shouldn't.
has a beer every day?
It should.
That's a problem.
And if you judge me for that, then you can eat a fucking coxicle because it doesn't fucking matter. Not you guys, but those people that make you feel bad about using a habit like that in moderation. Moderation, for fuck's sake. But that's another thing. I guess the key to anything is balance and moderation. You know, the yin to the yang. What line are you walking? I like to get shitty drunk. Sometimes I like to get sick drunk. I like to purge it out and just be that drunk, and it's almost like getting a haircut. It's just like all of that is out. Like whatever. And I'm not saying you have to rage and talk shit and be a blackout mess, but sometimes it's just
have fun. That's
have
the part
fun
of
and
living.
you're living, but if you're not doing it every night and you're banking it, so let's bank it and earn it. So it's like, hey, I didn't drink all week. I didn't drink all last week either. But this Friday, we're day drinking because we got this house with this pool and we're having all of our friends over and we're going to smoke some weed and we're going to drink some beers and we're going to eat some fucking steaks and then we're going to watch goofy videos on the internet and it's going to be awesome and we're going to eat chips and shit. And I might have a hangover tomorrow, but I'm not going to fucking get in a fist fight. I'm not going to crash my car. I'm not going to beat my woman. You know, all this stupid shit that's when it gets too much. But it's like, fuck that. Like, that should be okay. But I think what I want to kind of do is I want to bank it more. And another way I can bank it, the reason I can eat meaty cheeseburgers or meaty cheesies or a taco every day is because I work out. So if I'm not working out, if I'm doing nothing productive, where's the yin to the yang? If I'm not countering that in any way, I eat too many cheeseburgers. And I drink too much. And if I didn't work out at all, or if we didn't have this creative outlet at all, and I was just piling on more shit, I would just become Jabba the Devil Hutt. You know, it's like I'd be fat and mean, or I'd be fat, mean, and depressed.
Yeah.
And it's like, balance it the fuck out. Let's build up positive endorphins so that we can kill them with beer. That's just super counterproductive.
Alcohol is so counterproductive.
It's super counterproductive. But it's like, what are we going to do tomorrow? Are you going to have beers tomorrow at the baseball game?
I don't know.
Are you trying to? So you did good. You didn't drink at the concert. And why was
Part of
that?
that was
because you were running late. You don't want to wait in the line.
Nope. Part of it was conscious from before we left the house, and I just wanted to observe. When we go to concert, sometimes we start drinking, and I forget a lot.
The whole show.
Yeah.
What song did he do? I don't know. You know, like all the good ones.
Exactly. I remember that I enjoyed it. Is that enough?
I had a good
This
time.
is a question I ask myself all the time.
It is.
Is it enough
but
to enjoy life but not remember it? Or do you have to remember it? Why do we feel like we have to remember stuff? If you know you had a
So
good
you
time
can
that
pass
night-
down history and tell your son about it and give him something to aspire to. If I want to give my son a description about what my favorite concert memories are, I get fucking plastered every time, son. I never remember shit, but I have a good time while I'm there.
Yeah.
A lot of Daisy Dukes
Okay.
to look at them country
Where's
shows.
the problem? And that's what I'm saying is, when does something become a problem? Like,
I
I've
think-
asked myself this question a lot. If I know I enjoy the hell out of it, and that's only the feeling I have, is that okay? Or do you want to? Why do you want to have the memory so bad?
I think
'Cause
that's
do.
okay. I think that's okay, but I think, again, that comes back to balance. I want to get loud and rowdy and scream and cheer and have fun, but I want to remember when somebody busts out a sick-ass solo or they bring out a special guest and they come out there and tear it down, and you didn't even know that person was going to be there, and they performed this song and you knew all the words, and it's like, that's a story that you can pass down. That does the artist legend a favor. That does validation for the art that you support and you love in it. And then it's also inspiring for the art that you do and what you want to do. We went to that open mic comedy thing one time, and I feel like we learned a lot from that night. But by the end of the night, I was trashy drunk. You know, like, you could learn a lot from the art that inspires you and who you watch. Maybe what not to do. Maybe if you're learning and just trying to figure out how to go out there and do your 5 minutes, you can learn a hell of a lot what not to do by watching other peers like you go out there and try to do some shit. You also can learn what to do.
So I would say
not to say
that
you're
if-
copying.
No, I get it. But I would say that if our intention is to go there that night and learn something, and we're drinking and not remembering, then it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Same night, different objective, which is to just have fun, and we drink and we Uber home and we're completely safe, but we don't remember all the comedians. We just remember we were laughing so hard we were crying. What's more important to you? The fact that you know that you had such a good time you were crying, or would you rather not drink as much, not laugh so hard you cried, but remember that, yeah, it was pretty funny?
But how do you know you won't laugh until you cry? You might. How many times have you seen something, have you laughed like sober?
No, I'm not saying you won't sometimes.
Right.
But there's a reason why we all keep drinking and we all keep smoking. Right. Sam Kinison said, it's a party. It's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
You get too high. You get too drunk.
Well, and that's the thing. I want to remember more of those one-liners. I want to be able to quote some of those artists and say shit like that.
And
I'm not very good at that.
Yeah, and I remember that because that was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Before
you were drunk and high?
Sometimes we watch a special, and I remember laughing my fucking ass off, but I couldn't tell you one fucking joke.
Yeah. Oh, there were times, especially like, I would go to the movies sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times a weekend, sometimes. More commonly just once. But there would be, what'd you do this weekend? Oh, like, I went to the movies, and what'd you see? And there was honestly times where I was like, what fucking did I see?
Couldn't remember.
And there's movies that, like, maybe just because I was, like, high or whatever, or stoned. High always just seems like you're a druggie, like a drug addict, not something like marijuana.
That
but
word,
like,
you could be high on any other drug, basically.
I guess. Well, stoned works the same way, too, but I don't know. Drunk is just alcohol.
Yeah.
High means so many other things, and it's like I'm high on crack, or I'm high on weed. When you say high, that can be interpreted so many different ways. But either way, we don't have to keep that in there. I don't know. It's just there's movies that I know I've seen and I know I loved because that's my positive recollection of them. But I won't remember full-on scenes, or if you've waited long enough and you see the movie again, it's almost like watching it for the first time because you haven't seen it in so long. I guess that's one of the beauties about movies. I don't know. I totally get what you're saying, Orange, but I just still feel like there needs to be a little more balance. For me individually, because to each their own.
I know. I've already told everybody I am doing one shot at the wedding. One. I'm going to gather everybody that wants to do a shot with me, and that's how we're going to have to do it. I am not risking not remembering this day in any way.
Right.
But I know that everyone's going to bug me, and if I don't do it that way, I'll get talked into 3 and 4. And the problem with me is, once I get past 3 or 4, I get to 14 real fucking quick.
You do shots?
No, that's why I don't.
Yeah.
But you know how it is when you're celebrating something. It's like everybody wants to do one, and
I don't think I had a shot at my wedding. I'm not a shot taker.
I'm not a big fan most of the time, but got a guy bought 3 bottles of tequila. We're getting a little off track here.
No, that's all right.
But, well, no, we're not that far off track because what I said was...
Well, you're acknowledging that the taking shots can be a fucking problem for you, so you're putting guidelines in place.
Yes, absolutely.
But the thing is about
Which
the
is
guidelines,
good.
and that's why it's a fine balance, and that's why that yin-yang's always spinning, and it's like a hamster wheel. It's like good, bad, positive, negative, world turning, day, night, bender, moderate. Like that wavy line in the middle of the yin-yang is like, you want to have that guideline, you want to make sure shit's chill. But if you have that one shot and you get 20 of us around and we all have that celebratory shot with you.
It's a great moment.
It's going to be a great moment. Great picture, great moment, great memory. Mm-hmm. People that aren't even going to be involved are going to be looking at all the people gathered around and like whatever we cheers or hear to. It's going to be great for a lot of people, not even the people just taking the shots.
I haven't really thought about that much.
Say 50% of the people have left. There's a few of us still around. A lot of us still around. 50% of us still around.
Yeah.
And then it's like a couple more people leave, and then you're chilling and you're getting into some conversation with somebody else. And then Pepto comes up to you and he's like, hey, man, let's do one more of those shots. Duffman, you in on this? Fresh is like, yeah, dude, I'm in on this. Or like your dad wants to do it. And it's just chill. But you're like, nope, I'm only having one shot today. That box, don't put yourself in such a box. The moderation is... it's an apple corner. It's a rounded corner. Rounded corners were a big deal when Steve Jobs was developing the Mac operating system and the iOS and all that stuff. Not even the iOS, just the Macintosh operating system. It wanted the corners to be rounded. It wanted it to feel more real, less rigid, more that you can like kind of put stuff anywhere. Yeah. That's kind of how it needs to be with our regulations and our moderation. Obviously, there's rules, but more than likely, if you have a hard line in the sand and you cross it, you're setting yourself up for fucking failure. You're going to punish yourself, and you're going to be like, dude. But if you're enjoying all your memories and you're not getting, drinking for breakfast like we could do, and you're pacing yourself, and then a responsible opportunity comes along to have the second shot and have a second moment.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, I think you'd be doing yourself a disservice to say I can't do it in that instance.
So much like I've kept the taco challenge alive on a few technicalities.
Right.
I can work this one on blah, blah. How many did I have so far?
I think you just had a little, your lip just had like a stroke. It just went like, you looked like Jim Carrey or something. It was just like, do
it again. There's no fucking way. I might skate by on the technicality that I'm only going to have one shot on my wedding day, which means at 12:01,
you can have a gang of beers.
we can have at least one more. I can have one on the day of my wedding and one the day after the day of my wedding.
Hey, there you go. Do you think that if you...
But you made a very, 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 very valid point. And in that scenario, I probably would have just gone ahead and had this shot because it's the end of the night. I avoided the, come on, man. Everyone comes up to you drunk, arm around you, do a shot with me.
Right.
And all night I can say, no, I said one, no, I said, I'm going to do it early so everybody knows. So nobody comes up and asks me.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I think you'll be all right. I think
that's not what totally started this conversation in my head though either.
No.
I was really just I think about it a lot. If I can smoke pot every day and be a very good father and a good husband and go to work and I'm never late even, is that a problem?
No, it isn't. It isn't, especially if that's where it comes into the medicinal aspect of cannabis. Is some people need it to function. Some people need it because they have real anxiety and shit. Like I cold turkey quit all the fucking pills just because I felt like they were doing more harm than they were good. And
lost weight too.
I think a lot of my weight gain isn't from the working, or weight loss isn't from the working out as much as that I'm not on all these fucking pills anymore and shit counteracting with all that shit. I think a lot of it, and then the way that I've lost it so quick without not really busting my ass, because I've worked out way harder than this.
Yeah.
Way harder. Like we were doing it 5, 6, 7 times a day, sometimes 2 in one day. We were working out a lot, and it was like eating right and all this stuff. And I was still on medicine then. But it's like I had to work, and like not to say that I'm not working when I work out. Like I still work out, but it's happening real quick, and I think
stress will make me lose weight.
So if you're using, but the one thing that I want to,
at least I'm hoping leading up to this.
Stress helps you lose weight.
Oh, I gotta take the boys to get suits. Okay, I'm sorry.
Stress helps me gain weight because then I stress eat.
Well, there's two different ways. I think if my stress level gets high enough, then it can become where I won't eat. My question, I think, is rooted in the fact that I wonder sometimes there's a part of me that's still in there, I guess, from that drugs are bad and dare and, you smoke pot every day, you're a stoner and, and then I'm surrounded by people that are very productive, quote unquote, stoners. But I still have that little bit of guilt. I'm trying to get rid of it, but it's still in there somewhere.
Because that's how we were raised.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I smoke every day, is there a problem in that inherently? Or I guess I'm trying to talk myself into it's all the individual.
Well, that's exactly right. In whose eyes is it a problem to? In some people's, yes. In mine, no. And do you. That's almost like a cop-out. Like, oh, just do you. Be yourself, blah, blah, blah. But no, if you're not harming anybody, if that's what you need to cope, if that's what you need to be happy and have a greater quality of life, then fucking no, there's nothing wrong with that. You're a productive member of society who's about to have a wedding, who's redoing his backyard, who's raising 3 boys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are kicking ass, and you're doing all that while occasionally taking a toke of some marijuana. That's all just leftover historical stigma from when our parents were kids, from what they taught us, from what Dare and all that shit taught us.
It's a weird transition.
Drugs are bad. Crack is whack, bro. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's really bad and that you shouldn't do. So those sentiments still apply, but we were like, as a culture, like in it, but not in it with cannabis and with weed and with marijuana and with pot and whatever you want to call it, dope. They called it dope. Like it was always so negative depending on what side of the picket line you're on. And that's why we have a lot of that. You also grew up in church a little bit.
Yeah.
So you also
a little bit. I was an altar boy.
So you have a little bit of Catholic guilt, which doesn't fucking help anything.
That's so hard to get rid of.
So we're trying to. Well, that's where a lot of your thinking comes from, and that's where a lot of mine comes from too. It's like, oh my god, what's this?
It's still in there. I like to think that I've gotten rid of a lot of it, but
it's still there.
When I'm laying there at night and can't sleep, like.
You want to know when I called bullshit on it? I was getting confirmed, and before my confirmation, I had to go with my parents and go to like this little side chapel of the church where there was like this head nun lady in there, and I had to like go through these, I don't remember exactly what it was called, but like this question and answer, like this communication with God. Maybe it was the actual confirmation before the confirmation ceremony or something like that, but you had to go do something. And I was like, I don't know what to do. So like she asked the question and I started talking to God out loud, and then she was like, no. She's like, do it to yourself. Do it quiet. It's all internal. And then I was like, oh, we'll be out of here in 10 minutes. Like that was my thought in my head, because I was all rehearsing what I was going to say and what I was supposed to say and how it felt and how I was supposed to respond. She's like, oh, no, you don't got to say that shit out loud. I was like, oh, this shit's easy. Like, I'm just going to make this shit up and be like, okay, good, next. Well, what do you feel about the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit? And I'd be like, fuck the Holy Spirit. Next. No, not really.
No,
not really.
It's not the kind of threesome I'm usually thinking about.
I tried to get, so it's like, I don't know. I would always pray on my own time anyway. I didn't need those motherfuckers to tell me how and when to do it, So that's why I was like, this shit's stupid. But I don't know. I think we got off topic a hell of a lot again. I think, but again, that it all just bases, that nun would probably think it was a problem if you're smoking weed every day. But maybe that fucking nun is smoking weed every day too. How the fuck do you take an act of celibacy or a vow of celibacy without smoking on a little bit of weed?
Have you not seen the nuns in church that smoke the weed and grow it?
No.
It's a thing. It really is. There are nuns who are doing it, and it's for health reasons.
Yeah.
And they believe it because God created it.
All I get to eat is this little wafer cracker and some red wine. It's not a balanced diet. I'm not allowed to fuck anybody, but I'm horny all the time. So I smoke a spliff of some indica, flick the bean, pray to Jesus, and fall asleep. I wake up and do it every... Where do I sign up? I want to be a nun.
The Sisters of the Valley. California's self-ordained weed nuns are on a mission to heal and empower women with their cannabis products.
Hey, well, that sounds like a business for sure.
They're out of Merced.
Really?
Oh, seem legit.
Sisters of the Valley? Is that what they're called? Let's hit them up.
They do not belong to any order of the Catholic Church. Whatever. We'll hit them up anyways. Awesome.
We should interview them. That'd be fun. We would love to have you, Sisters of the Valley.
That would be awesome.
Tell us your ways, peddle your wares.
Well, that's exactly who I have to talk to, because I'm struggling with the medicine versus the evil devil fire sticks that I was told joints were when I was a kid.
Jesus.
So,
Babe, it makes
really?
you such. I'm not saying that you're not a good person. You are. You're absolutely. This just helps you. Helps with your anxiety. When you get mad, you nowadays you're like, I need 5 minutes, and you walk away. Like back in the day, you didn't really do that. That is such an improvement. Like, it's crazy.
You know what was one thing that helped me a lot getting stoned after work? And this is back when I was in my dead-end job and, like, I hated myself and stuff and thought I would never get out of it. And I would be irritated. And I would get irritated with people who were doing stupid things or causing me more work. And, like, I feel like I call people idiots a lot. And then some people...
To their face?
No.
Oh, okay.
But some people say, like, if you think everybody's an idiot, you're the idiot. And I'm like, well, maybe I am stupid, but
maybe that's part of the book.
But I'm not,
using positive words.
Yeah, just trying to like.
What? I'm sorry, maybe I didn't hear you right, because I thought you were going to say. What did you just say? Somebody told you about calling people idiots?
That if you think everybody's an idiot or a moron, you're an idiot or a moron.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say that
going.
If you're always calling somebody an idiot in your head, you're just continuously negatively reinforcing.
Well, there's that too.
And you're not going to let that person perhaps change and grow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is another horrible thing. So I would be annoyed with people, or I might say like a shitty comment or whatever, just being negative and grumpy. And that place was a horrible toxic environment, and that's what bums me out. But anyway, I I would go home and I would smoke, and I'd be like, oh, I shouldn't have talked to Bobby that way. Or, oh, I shouldn't have fucking been that way to Ricky. Like, that was a little much. I know he's a fucking idiot, but he meant well, and you were just frustrated, and you snapped on him. So it would also, when I would reflect on the day and learn from the pros and the cons of the day, which you got to do, and which people normally do at the end of a day, you would think, which helps us become better people, is growing from the mistakes, trying to recreate things that were positives and successes and things like that, always tweaking, always working on the batting swing. But I would go home at night and I would smoke and I'd be calm and I'd be relaxed and I'd be less angry. And then I would start to feel guilty of how I talked to some people. So then maybe the next day you get what's one thing I wrote down today? I was like, I got to let Monday stop fucking me in the ass like it used to do Fresh, or maybe even still does. And I was thinking of good old Al Pacino, and I need to fuck Monday in the ass. Yeah. Monday can't fuck me in the ass. And the one thing that I wrote down that was cool, I wrote down a few things and, that I was thankful for Mondays for. And one of them was it was a fresh start of a week from which to grow and improve on the successes and the failures of the past week. So I was like, let's kind of go into it with that mindset before it gets all fucked up. Because I had like the Sunday blues. I had the Sunday blues all day on Sunday, dreading Monday because I really didn't want to go. And then I was like, this can't keep happening. It's not good for the baby. It's not good for me. So that was a positive when I would smoke, is that it would, and sometimes you have to do it every day.
That's a big positive.
But hopefully you don't have to do it every day, and you just keep building on that positivity.
Well, that's very true.
And changing the way you kind of act within the day so that it doesn't give you more things to stress about.
As soon as you started talking about that, it was ringing a bell with me, and I don't know how much I've vocalized that exact idea, but it does. I apologize a lot when I sit back and I smoke a little bit and I think about it. I'm like, God, that was not cool. I gotta calm down and not do that, right? So I might have to apologize to somebody for something. And even if it's not a big thing, and a lot of times like, it's no big deal, it's important to me to do that. Yeah. Because then I'm building on it.
Yeah, but then you don't always want to apologize all the time, because then your sorries aren't shit.
No, but you're learning. You're building, like I said. Right. I hope I'm building. I feel like I apologize less than I used to have to. Right. But it crosses over because I was at work one day, so obviously I wasn't stoned, but I was stressed out about something else. I lost it on a dude, and then I came back in front of everybody at work because I lost it in front of everybody, and I was like, I was wrong. And that's not and so what struck me to bring the whole episode full circle was we were talking about the booze earlier, and you don't do that if you go home and drink. If you go home and start drinking, you're not going, man, maybe I should have apologized. Some people,
you get angrier.
And then you wake up having not thought maybe I should apologize the night before, and maybe got even more mad about it. Now you're hungover, so you're cranky.
Irritable.
Yeah, and then you see Ricky again, and you just
it's going to get worse potentially.
Yeah, he's like, hey man, did you take a look at this? Man, motherfucker, I told you I would.
Or you don't, or you're passive aggressive to him, or you little comment here, or you're not happy to see him, and then that continues to build resentment, and it's just more of that toxic mold on the wall, more of that invisible toxic mold on the wall. You don't get that on alcohol, so therefore the simple answer to your question would be, if you smoked a moderate amount of marijuana every day as a positive and a stress relief and a medicine for the betterment of your life and the betterment of the quality of your life, no, there's nothing fucking wrong with that, and that's why it was just made legal. Too much of a good thing is bad. We need moderation within anything. That's an old adage. And, too much of a good thing is bad. Too many meaty cheesies are bad, man. Too much weed can be bad. Now, like, if you're smoking every day and you're smoking in the morning, then you're smoking on the way to work, and then you're smoking on your coffee break, and then you go and smoke on your lunch. Yeah, that's too much, man. And the other part that sucks about that is you're building up your tolerance.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a lot more to get you there where you want to be comfortably, and it's going to fuck up your pocketbook because now all this fancy fucking legal packaging shit that it was so cool when the weed stores first opened and I had a medical card or a physician's statement of recommendation, as they're called. Crikey. Like, you would get fire ace for like $20.
Just in a little plastic baggie.
Yeah, with a little handwritten sticky on there.
Yeah.
And like they wouldn't
even write it out. It would just be GSC.
That's
and it
crazy.
wouldn't even be 3.5s. It would be like 4.7s. Like they were giving shit away at that time. It was like everyone was generous. And now it's business, which is good. It's a good era to experience. It's a good thing to be a part of. Yeah. I want everybody to make money. I'd rather them make money off this than a countless number of other things. Yeah. It's cool and all, but it's like, all right, like now I feel like I'm getting a little fucked, like a little bit, you know. So I'll still try to buy like some of the cheaper stuff because like I don't need a $70 eighth, bro. Like
Yeah,
I'm
that's
good.
ridiculous.
I ain't pay $70 for no eighth when I was fucking on the street doing that shit. I ain't paying no fucking $70 for an eighth now that the shit's legal either.
Why don't
Like,
we just grow it?
well, there's that too.
I know why we don't, but
I know.
I got 2 plants right now. I got 2 clones. I picked up clones. I researched them. I was like, I was waiting for the heat to go. And they're like, if you do early August, you're good. You should be good by. So I figured by my birthday, I'll be able to pick them in December. Yeah, so I got
That's
2 this
awesome.
year. The last 2 years, I only had 1. But now that I have my own backyard, I got 2.
Really? We can't plant tomatoes and just one in between them?
That's what I was going to do when the kid. But have planter boxes and then.
yeah, our kids will have no fucking idea what that tomatoeless tomato plant is.
What are all those? Looks like marijuana, Dad. No.
I think this week's P3 kind of maybe this is why we think about weed so much and talk about it. The law of attraction states that whatever you focus on, think about, read about, and talk about intensely, you're going to attract more of it into your life.
And that works with negative shit too. That's actually the part that's easier said than done, and what I kind of wanted to get into a little bit about the law of attraction. If you're constantly saying work sucks, work's going to suck.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're putting out into the world and bring back.
That's what I was saying about always calling the guy the idiot.
Right.
Yeah, because you're
You're
putting that
never
on
going to
him.
get out of that.
Yeah.
You're never going to, it's like if you focus on somebody's negative quality, that's all you're ever going to see in them. You're like you said, you're never going to give them a chance to grow and change. You're never going to give yourself the opportunity to let them grow or change. And then you might be missing or shorting yourself from the one positive thing that makes them amazing and the reason why they're there. Now I'm not saying be friends with fucking everybody. That's impossible. That's just impossible. Sometimes you got to like go, well,
I don't
this
like
shit
you.
just ain't meant to be. Some people you just don't like, and there's people that don't like me. I don't like them either, and
Yeah.
like whatever. But I mean, at least you can still get along with them. They can still be in the room, and you can collaborate. You don't have to go out to dinner afterwards, but we can collaborate without curling our lips and stuff. Like,
I think a perfect example of what we've been talking about is actually in this quote itself. At least my reaction to it, because this is our P3 moment. This is our positivity. And I read it, and I was like, wow, that is really positive. And then Duffman said, that works for negativity too. And I realized that it doesn't say anything about positivity or negativity. But because I went into it thinking it was positive, I ended up totally reading it as a positive, and I didn't even think about that.
right, which is a good thing. But
Well, that's when it demonstrates that if you wake up on Monday and you say, I'm going to fuck Monday in the ass, then you're probably going to fuck Monday in the ass.
you're gonna have a better day.
If you wake up and says, it's going to fuck me in the ass, the first thing that goes wrong is going to fucking send your day into a spiral.
Exactly.
Wrong coffee, whatever the fuck it is. Out of gas, don't have time.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck it is going to send you in a spiral. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
hey, I love our positivity. I think it's working
it is.
So
a
too.
lot.
I'm gonna go to work tomorrow actually with a different mindset towards
Try
a
to.
person.
Yeah.
I try it. We all try it.
I'm gonna do it.
I really think it works. I hope that the shitheads are practicing out there themselves and that they're having some strides.
It's baby steps, man. It's crazy how significant a tiny small step in the right direction as far as this is concerned will benefit you and the people around you. It's like I'm trying to put this shit to work and do it because I don't like who I am a lot of the times now. I don't like feeling like shit. I don't like being negative, but I also don't want to keep blaming circumstances for why I'm negative or feel like shit. I feel like I sometimes, you get so much shit piled on you, and then it's like, bro, it's like the straw that broke the camel's back, and then you don't give a fuck anymore. But it's like you can't let that shit win. Throw 5,000 more straws on here because I'm still going to be strong enough to hold it up. And then when you're done with that 5,000, you could throw another fucking 5,000 on there because I'm still going to be strong enough to hold it up. Like I can't let this shit whitewash or paint over my grand scheme of things, my master plan, my manifesto, my fresco. Like I'm still working on this perfect scenery. I'm still painting this shit. Like I can't let them erase my shit because I feel like I'm letting people get the best of me that shouldn't have any right to get the best of me because they ain't in the painting.
Right.
They're not in the manifest. They're not in the book. They're not in the painting. They're not on the fresco. Like, why are you letting them fucking wipe corners of your fucking masterpiece out?
Smudge it up.
Right.
Yeah. Wash your hands before you come in the outhouse.
I was gonna say,
Ugh.
keep that positivity train going.
I get to laugh and I think of him in this old wood train whistle and how he just loves to whip it out every now and go. I'm like, that's a great thing, man. It's the little things. It's a simple wooden children's toy.
Yeah.
It's fucking costs you like $7 maybe.
Well, it was at the California Railroad Museum, so it was probably a little bit more.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's got the stamp on the side.
Yeah.
I love it, though. You're right, I do.
All right, man. Well, it's been nice talking to you guys as always. Thank you for another good Monday evening. And I am the Duffman. You can catch me at Duffman916 on Instagram. That's the one with the pictures orange. And the Twitter. We just did another LSU this weekend, so that'll be coming out soon. I think that's going to be fun. And we do have another Same Shit, Different Toilet on the calendar, so that's coming up in the near future, too.
Thanks for listening, you guys. I am at Mama_KGB on Twitter. Hit me up. Hashtag I am having a great time.
Don't forget to go by the website, theouthouse.com. You can hit me on Twitter at Mr_Orange25. I don't understand Instagram. I'm not there. You can find us at The Outhouse at SSDT. Have a good week, shitheads.
Peace.
Bye.